So I think we're just about arriving at the beginning now. No need to move, no need to do anything. But for those of you that I haven't practiced with before, my name's Bella. I use they, them pronouns. And today we're going to be doing an hour-long restorative class. So yeah, we're going to be breathing. We're going to be moving, and we're going to be exploring what it is to be an embodied living being today. While also really taking the time to nurture and recuperate in our physical bodies. Maybe finding a little bit of respite for the mind. So we're starting lying on our backs. And in this shape, just begin to notice the points of contact your body is making with the ground below. And see if with every exhale, you can sink into those points of contact a little deeper. Allowing the muscles to melt from the bones. And the bones to really rest, supported on the mat, supported on the earth. And we can take this moment at the start of class to really arrive, landing gently in the room, in your body, resting on the mat, in the practice, to arrive in the present moment, the continually unfolding present moment. Becoming aware of your breathing now. Start by just noticing the breath. Noticing the physical sensations of your breathing body. And where you feel that most strongly. Maybe it's a gentle rise and fall in the belly. Maybe it's a little pressure on the back of the ribs. Or a lift in the collarbones. Maybe you can feel the cool air of the inhalation by your nostrils. Or the warm air leaving on your upper lip. Just noticing the physicality of your breathing body. Noticing how nothing is ever totally stationary. The body is never totally still. The breath provides this undulation, this movement. It is always underpinning everything. Keeping your awareness trained to your breath, Just following the inhalation all the way to the top. And then maybe just softening your focus as you exhale. Really zooming in that attention, that awareness, all the way to the top of the inhale. And softening into the earth as you exhale. This practice today, I would really like to bring a focus to the concept of receiving, like what it is to receive, what it is to allow our bodies to receive rest, what it is to allow our bodies to receive breath, to receive care, to receive love. So as you receive the inhalation, see if you can really let that land. Let the process of the breath, the process of showing up to practice, be this act of receiving love that you're giving yourself in this moment. The oxygen flooding the body, bringing with it life and possibility. And the exhale, softening into the earth. We're going to do a couple rounds of a pranayama technique, which is kind of breath restraint, loosely translated, which is a type of viloma. So this is, we're going to be focusing on the inhale, and you can either visualize, if it helps, as steps, kind of climbing up. We're going to climb up 4 steps, little sips of inhale. Or you could imagine it concentric circles, like when a drop of water falls into a pond and the ripples go out. If my timing doesn't work for you, I really invite you into your own pace. But if you're with me, take an exhale to find the bottom of the breath. And then find a little inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, pause. Last time, inhale, pause at the top, exhale, softening all the way down. Really nice. We're going to go again. Inhale, 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 last inhale, noticing this feeling of being really full of air. Exhale, softening down towards the earth, releasing, relaxing. Last time. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Last one. Inhale, pausing at the top. Exhale, soften, relax, release. Really nice. And then just let go of this control of the breath. Keeping your attention with the inhale, keeping your attention there all the way to the top of the breath. And noticing that turning point as it moves back towards the exhale. Trusting that when you reach the bottom of the exhale, it will come back. And just searching for a breath here, a breath that feels smooth, that feels true in your body today. And before we start moving, I just want to say that anything I say or suggest is an idea, is an invitation. But if anything doesn't feel right or feels painful in your body, I really trust you to trust yourself here. And if you want any modifications as well, you can give me a wave and we can work together to make this practice work for you. It's your body, it's your practice. You're the only one with any kind of jurisdiction over what happens to your body. So with that in mind, pull the bolster out from under your knees and just put it on the right hand side. Let's take it over towards the right. Nice. Straighten out the legs and reach your arms up above your head. Take a full body stretch. So we're lying down, taking a stretch. So come back, come to lie down again. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Reach long, take a big stretch. And then hug your left knee in towards your body. Either holding onto the back of your thigh or your knee. And find some little circles with this knee and the hip. Staying present for the sensations in your hip joint. Just exploring how it feels in there. Take the circles back the other way. And then left arm is going to come along the floor at shoulder height, holding onto the knee with your right hand. You're going to guide the knee over onto the bolster into a twist. So we're taking the right knee, the left knee over towards the right side of the room. Left arm is out at shoulder height behind you, either gazing towards the ceiling or back towards your opposite fingers. And see if you can find a little softness here. A few more breaths. Then on an inhale, we're going to bring it back to center, hugging both knees in towards your chest this time. Squeeze them up. And find a little rock backwards and forwards along the spine. A little massage for the back of the spine. Really feeling all the bits of your spine on the earth. Before straightening your legs out again, grab and hold your bolster, taking it over to the left side of the mat this time. And then hug your right knee in towards your chest. Take a moment to squeeze it up, and then find your circles with that foot, with that knee. Taking it around, exploring the hip joint. Noticing how it feels in your hip socket. And taking those circles the other way. Really nice. Right hand is going to come out at shoulder height. So kind of making a T shape with the arm. Using your left hand, guide your right knee over towards the bolster. So coming into that same twist, but on the other side. Nice. And just softening here. Tuning back in with the shape of your breathing body. Seeing how it feels different. Last breath here. Inhale to bring it back to center. Soles of the feet flat on the floor this time. And just tick-tock your knees side to side, a little windshield wiper. Checking out the feeling in the hips. We're going to make our way up to a seat now. So maybe that's rolling onto one side, coming up. Maybe it's rocking up and down your spine. You're going to find a comfortable seat. You can sit on a bolster. You can sit on a block. You could sit cross-legged. You could sit on your heels. It's up to you. I'm going to go on a bolster today because that's comfy. And it's like, the good thing about a bolster is it's got real space to support your thighs underneath. whatever feels right today. Okay, hands on your knees. Settle your sitting bones down as you lift up through your sternum. You're going to take some Sufi grind. So we're taking big circles with the spine, inhaling to lift the chest forward, exhaling, rolling it back. Using this anchor of your hands on your knees to pull you forward as you inhale and to anchor you there as you exhale. Heart lifting on the inhale, shoulder blades moving apart. An image I really like with this action is imagining grinding pepper or coffee, and your spine is just like grinding the grounds. Next time you reach the end of a breath, take a bite the other way, inhaling to open, exhaling, rounding through the spine. Noticing if there are any particularly like sticky or interesting spots, you could reverse it and spend a particular time working in a certain area. Just staying present with the sensations in your body. Next inhale, we're going to find our way to neutral and reestablish this weight in the legs. It's lifting through the ears. Inhale, reach up. Creating space between your sitting bones and your fingertips. Exhale, push the ground down. See if you can imagine you're like pushing through honey or marshmallows. Shoulder blades drawing down the back. Inhale to lift up, weightless. Lightness in the arms. Exhale, pushing down as if you're moving through something. Like maybe through sand. I think marshmallows is my favorite one. It gives a kind of spongy deliciousness. Inhale to lift. Exhale, pushing it down, little pressure, little resistance. Inhale to lift up. This time we're going to come into a twist, twisting towards the right. So left hand to right knee, stay lifted in the chest, fingertips towards the floor. Few breaths here. And we're exploring this relationship between opening and lifting as you inhale, and maybe twisting a little more as you exhale. Receiving this height and this breadth and this depth on the inhalation, just easing into the shape on the exhalation. One more breath here. Inhale to reach up. And then we're going to exhale, taking it over towards the left this time. Trying to stay level in the shoulders. And exploring this relationship between the inhalation, the breadth, the depth, the height, and the softness of the exhalation. One more breath here. Going to inhale to come back up, reaching up, creating space between all the vertebrae in your spine. Look up at your fingertips, sit down in your hips, nice. And then bring your hands down. Just going to straighten out our legs. They've been crossed for a little while. We're almost done sitting like this, but we're not quite. So we're going to give our legs a little break. Maybe rolling the feet side to side, drawing the toes up towards your face, pointing them towards the ground. And like, actually, okay, draw the toes towards your face, kick the heels away from you. Notice how that feels in your thighs. Notice how that feels in your knees. And then point your toes, push the balls of your feet towards the ground. Notice how your legs change shape as you do this. One more time, drawing it up. Notice the shape of your legs, notice how it feels, and push it down. Notice the difference. Okay, we're going to cross our legs again, this time the non-intuitive way. For me, that means my right leg being closer to my body and my left leg being further away. It's a bit harder. Yeah. If it's impossible, stick with your regular way, but it's good to challenge the body like this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we're going to make a W shape with the arms, elbows drawing together, shoulder blades drawing together, palms spreading. Inhale here, lift the heart. Exhale, sweep forward with the arms. Imagine you're pushing your hands into a wall, shoulder blades draw apart. Inhale, reach, so they're flowing between these. Exhale, shoulder blades together. Nice. Inhale here to lift your heart. Exhale around through the spine. Push that imaginary wall. One more time. Inhale to reach. Bring your hands to the ground behind you now. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. We're just going to start. It might be best to come down to the floor now if you want to raise. The hands are on the ground behind you. And we're just going to do that same tick-tocking of the knees side to side. Noticing how this feels in the hips. And then drop your knees all the way to the right side. So we're kind of looking for roughly 2 90-degree angles with the knees. And we're going to turn over the right leg. Keep lifted in the chest. Inhale to come back through center, feeling both of your feet on the ground. And we're going to twist to the other side, staying lifted in the chest. Coming through center, grab hold of your bolster and put it lengthways on the mat behind you. And return back to your center feet position with the feet on the floor. Yeah. You're going to drop the knees towards the right once again, finding that 90-90. Turn back towards your bolster. And if it's too far, having it like perpendicular, you can bring it in closer to your right knee. We're going to fold down onto the bolster. You can either bring your right ear, your left ear, or your forehead onto it. Nice. So we're in this kind of folded twist. Few more breaths here. Really allowing yourself to receive the support of the bolster. And pushing your hands into the ground and using your inhale to bring you back through center. We're going to go straight to the left side. So dropping the knees towards the left, traveling around with the body, making a decision about where feels right for your bolster. Maybe it's in the same place, maybe it's in a different place. And just giving your heart, your chest onto the bolster. Maybe noticing if this side feels any different from the other. Softening through your hips. Softening in your belly, your jaw. Last breath here. Replanting your hands. Inhale to rise up. Turning back through center. And maybe taking those windshield wiper knees side to side. Checking out what's going on. I'm going to come to a kneeling now. Once again, because I love bolsters, I'm going to suggest kneeling on the bolster, of course. But you could kneel on a block. You could make a dish for your feet, for your butt with your feet, if that feels better. If this doesn't feel okay, you can feel free to sit as you did before. Doesn't really matter so much. We're going to do a little bit of neck release now. So lift up through the tips of your ears. And as you do this, you might notice your head going back in space a little bit. And we're going to drop right ear to right shoulder. Inhale to bring it to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Just noticing the sensations going on in the lengthening side Not trying to use any force, but just allowing the weight of the head. Inhale through center, dropping towards the right. This time, taking your left hand and reaching out towards the left side of the room. So we're creating this really long line all the way from that ear to the fingertips. You can move your hand around here, maybe seeing what happens if you lift it up a little higher. You bring it down a little lower. If I lift it higher, I can feel the tendons like lower in my arm. But if I draw it down further towards the ground, the sensation comes up into my neck more. So it can be quite interesting to just explore here, noticing what sensations are available. Then bring in the left hand in. Inhale to raise the head. Exhale, taking it over towards the left side this time. Reaching out through the right fingers. Having a little play here. One of the things that I think is so amazing about doing this is it really speaks to the ways in which our bodies are one whole continuous piece. You know, there's no separation between these tendons that are going on in our arms and these tendons in our neck. Okay, bringing the right hand back in, lifting the head back up. I'm going to go one more time on each side. This time, option to bring the right fingertips over the left ear. So we're kind of cradling the head. And again, we're not pulling, we're just allowing the weight of that arm to maybe provide a little extra weight to the head. And again, when we're here, you could explore with the left fingertips again. You could try taking the left hand to the small of your back. That can be quite an interesting modification. Really nice, everyone. Just breathing a bit of spaciousness down that side of the neck. 2 more breaths. Inhale, find your way back up. Exhale, taking it back towards the left side now. Maybe using the weight of your hand. Either having an explore through your right fingers or bringing it to your lower back. Breathing some spaciousness down through your neck. Two more breaths now. Really receive what this posture has to offer you. Then gently releasing, bringing the head back to neutral. And turn to look over one shoulder. Turn to look over the other, really taking your time. Really noticing how it feels in your neck. And we're going to make our way now into a tabletop. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. I'm going to take some cat-cows. So as you inhale, find length through the belly, lift the heart, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the ears. As you exhale, push the ground away, doming through the spine, chin, chest. Inhaling to open through the heart, lifting the ears, lifting the tail through the spine. Just keep moving between these two shapes in your own time with your own breath. Feel free to bump the hips side to side, maybe closing down the eyes, maybe bending into the elbows. Just really seeing what is going on in your spine. allowing your awareness to receive this information that your spine is giving you, as you allow the breath to move you from this open, expansive inhale into this coiled, inward turning exhale. Next inhale, we're going to reestablish neutral. Spread particularly wide in your left hand, paying most attention to the L between your thumb and your first finger. Really make contact with the ground. And then inhale to reach up with your right arm, opening the chest out towards the right side. And then on exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So diving the right hand on the ground, in between the gap between your hand and the floor. Bringing the right ear towards the ground. You've got options with your left hand here. You can keep it exactly where it is. You can creep the fingers long across the ground. You could try bringing it to the small of your back or the crease of your clothes. Becoming aware of your inhale here. Becoming aware of the physical shape of the inhale breath. Receiving the support from the floor. Receiving the information your body is giving you about being held in this position. Receiving the inhalation. Last few breaths here. And wherever you're at, bringing your left hand back under your shoulder, grounding down through that palm. We're going to come back where we came, so inhaling to open all the way back up. Exhale, plant the right hand, and we're going to take it to the other side. So left arm is going to reach. You got it, you got it. Reaching up, spreading wide in the fingers. Exhale, threading the needle, diving it down. Left ear towards the mat. Taking the first couple of breaths to explore what you want to be doing with your right arm in this shape. Maybe it's the same thing you did before. Maybe it's something different. Last couple of breaths here. For replanting your right hand. Allowing your inhale to open. Oh, it's your left hand, isn't it? Sorry about that. Allowing your inhale to open you all the way back. And returning to your tabletop. Little wiggle of the hips. A little wiggle in the shoulders to release that work. Doing really nicely, everyone. And then step your right foot up outside your right hand. It can be good to get blocks or books or a water bottle here to bring lift your arms up a little higher, or you can keep them on the floor. This is our lizard lunge. So right toes are turning just off the top corner of the mat. Yeah. And then we're going to take some rolls in the hip here. Really seeing what's going on in that hip socket. And then taking those rolls back the other way. We can take the quad stretch. So if this feels good, you could think about rolling onto the space in front of the back knee, if that makes sense. And draw that knee up towards your glutes. It'd be good to pad that back knee. Yes, excellent. You could double your mat. You could have 2 mats. So knee is drawing up towards your quad. If you're here, great. If you're here, also great. Option to reach back and grab hold of the foot with your right hand. No pressure to do this. If you're just using the muscle of your foot and your leg to draw that heel in, that's actually a lot more work than using your hand. Or it's a different thing. And then release that wherever we're at. Grab your bolster, bring it round to the front. And we're going to come into a pigeon now. So toe heel your right foot over towards the left side and bring your shin to the floor. I'm saying the bolster here to bring your forearms onto the bolster as you fold forward. But you could also put it back under your right hip. Yeah, nice. A moment to lift the heart. And then surrendering down over that front leg. Noticing where the strongest sensations are. And breathing into them. Oh, it's quite a lot, this one. Next inhale, we're going to lift back up. Walk your left knee back in. And then from the tabletop, straighten through your right leg. Toes are tucked at the back of the mat. So right leg is straight behind you. Left knee is into tabletop. Yeah, there we go. And just a couple of little pulses here. Opening up through the back of the leg. Inviting the circulation back in. Option 2, rotate your hands externally and turn your fingers back towards your legs. Or just out towards the side. Noticing this feeling in the front of your arms. Spin your arms back round to the front. Right knee bends. And bump the hips side to side. Little movement here. And when you're ready, step your left foot up outside your left fingers. Coming into our lizard on this side. Option to be up on the blocks or on your fingers. Or sometimes I like to go fists with this one, actually. It can be good if you've got high mobile fingers to go on fists sometimes. But first, just taking some rolls in the hip. Noticing any catches or particularly sensitive points in that circle. And then taking the circles back the other way. Noticing how it feels to change directions. We've got the option to take the quad stretch on this side. Bring the heel up towards your glute, maybe reaching back to catch the foot. Just meet yourself wherever you're at here today. No form of this is better than any other. Returning your right leg to the ground. Begin to toe heel the left foot over towards the right side this time. And in an ideal world, we're looking for the shin being sort of towards parallel with the top edge of the mat, but any discomfort in the knee or anything like particularly going on in your hips, I don't mind if your heel is more back towards your pelvis. That's really okay. Yeah, here we go. A moment to lift up. And exhale to take it on down over that front leg. I quite like to find a little rocking backwards and forwards here. But you could also be in stillness. Last few breaths. And pushing down into your hands. Bringing your right knee in a little bit in order to straighten through your left leg, tucking the toes, finding length through the back of your leg, heel drawing towards the back of the rim or even towards the floor energetically. Find little pulsing motions. Option to spiral the hands again. And then reorienting your fingers, replacing your knees. Bring your bolster in between your legs. Toes come to touch. Heels, hips sit back towards your heels. We're going to come into a child's pose. So just walk your body down over the bolster, either hugging onto the bolster. You could go down to the floor if you'd rather, but this is yummy. Hips drawing towards your heels. Softening into the mat. Noticing your breathing. Noticing the changing shape of your breathing body. Noticing the inhale as it arrives and really receiving it. Last few breaths here. Inhaling, walk your hands back towards your body. Straight away, we're going to sit the hips to one side. Bring the legs out in front of you. Maybe rocking the knees side to side, maybe pointing and flexing the toes, whatever feels good. Then bringing your legs wide. We don't have to go super wide, but kind of whatever feels right. Taking your right foot, bending it up towards your body. First, we're going to just take a little massage into the sole of the foot. If your knee is really high, you could place a block or a cushion or a bolster underneath that knee. And we're just checking out what's going on in the foot. There's a really good acupressure point that is about a third of the way down the foot in the middle. This is really good for rest and sleep. So you can just kind of dig around in there particularly. Our feet do so much work for us. They carry us around wherever we go. And it's really nice to take a moment from time to time to just express a little gratitude. Then bring the sole of your right foot to the inseam of your left leg. Turn your body over towards your left leg. And if you grab your bolster, bring it along the inside of that leg. And we're just going to fold forward towards the bolster. You can bring your forearms to it. You can bring your full head to it. It's up to you, but we're just kind of giving the body towards this leg. Last breath here. Inhale to come back out. We're going to turn it lengthwise now on the outside. And then turn towards your bent leg. Oh no, let's bring it on the inside. Sorry about that. Turn towards your bent leg. And then we're going to slide the left hand down the bolster, opening the chest out towards your right leg. You can bring your right hand to the small of your back, maybe looking back over your ear. Noticing what you notice here. Next inhale, come back up. Straighten through the right leg. Maybe pointing and flexing that foot. And then bend up your left leg. A moment here to really acknowledge the sole of that foot. Another great acupressure point is between your big toe and your first toe in the kind of, oh yeah, the line between the tendons that come up in between. There's like, yeah, you can dig around in there a little bit, express a little gratitude. Then bring the sole of your left foot to the inseam of your right thigh. Bolster comes on the knee. Turn yourself towards your right toes. Moment to lift. And then give yourself to that leg. Breathing into the back of your body. Breathing into the back of your leg. Allowing yourself to be soft here. Allowing yourself to receive the information from this posture. A final breath. Inhale to roll up. Bringing the bolster to the inside of the leg. Turn your body towards your left leg now. So it's kind of like a little twist. And keeping the chest turning that way, slide your right arm down the bolster. Maybe your left hand is on your hip. Maybe it's on your lower back. Either looking in line with your chest or over your left shoulder. Keeping the heart gently spiraling towards the ceiling. Final breath here. Inhale to make your way up. Soles of the feet on the floor, hands behind you. Once again, little windshield wiper. We're going to take a restorative heart opening posture next. So in the studio with blocks, we're going to take one lengthways across the back of the mat and then lie the other down on it. Actually, let's go mid-setting. At home, you can make a stack with some pillows to put underneath your bolster, maybe if you don't have blocks. Then we're going to take the bolster and we're going to recline it. So one end is lower than the other. We're going to set our sitting bones as close to the low end of the bolster as possible. And starting with the soles of the feet on the floor, as we've been doing over and over again, you're going to lay back. If this feels like too much of an arch for your lower back, we can grab another block and put it under your hips. So if anyone would like another block, you can give me a little wave and I'll sort you out. Nice. And just settle here for a moment. Noticing how it feels in your chest to be opening like this. If this feels really good and you just want to stay here, great. But if you want to take a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobblers, you can walk your feet towards each other, bring the soles of the feet to touch, and allow the knees to open wide. We've got choices with our hands. You could bring them to your inner groins to support that opening place. You could bring them on your belly, maybe onto your heart. You could open them wide in a T shape. Whoa, so sorry. Oh my gosh. Terrifying. It was just my bottle. Or you could hold opposite elbows above your head. Doesn't matter what you do, just make the choice your own. And then for a moment, inhale and push the soles of your feet towards each other, maybe squeezing through the glutes gently. And then exhale to relax that pressure between your feet. Relax the pressure in your thighs. Notice what it is. Just slowly let the effort go. Allowing yourself to be supported. Allowing yourself to be present. Last breath or two here in our reclined cobbler. And maybe using your hands to help you close up your knees, return your feet to the floor. Walk your feet towards the outside edges of the mat. Let the thighs support each other. Maybe experiment with a different position for the arms. Notice how it feels different in this shape. Notice the points of contact and the support present here. We're going to move towards a Shavasana now. So the purpose of our Shavasana is to take a really deliberate rest. And it's in this rest that we're able to metabolize and incorporate and ground all of the juicy stuff that we've been doing today. So if you're super comfy where you're at and you're able to fully relax here, you are more than welcome to stay where you are. But if you would like to remove whatever props you have underneath you, we've got options for Shavasana. So you could have a folded blanket under your head. You could put the bolster under your knees. You could tuck yourself in. Just taking your time to arrive in a position that feels like somewhere you can let go. Let go of the effort. Let go of the concentration. Let go of the practice. So as a final bit of activation, inhale, clench your fists, squeeze your glutes, make everything as tight as you can. Notice what it is to use your muscles. And then as you exhale, choose to release, choose to relax, choose to let it go. Noticing the points of contact your body is making with the floor, with the surface below you. Allow yourself to sink into those points of contact. An image that can be useful sometimes is imagining lying on wet sand. So it entirely holds and supports your weight, but gives way and responds to the shape that you're occupying. Eyeballs softening in their sockets, tongue releasing the mouth, tips of the fingers, soles of the feet. The whole body is peaceful and at rest. The whole body is relaxed. beginning to become aware of your breath again. Noticing this physicality of your breathing. Maybe turning your attention specifically towards the inhalation and letting this receiving of the oxygen, of the newness, of the fresh breath to be an indication that it is almost time to begin moving again. You could start by finding a little movement in your fingers and toes, maybe rocking your head side to side, swallowing a couple of times. Just allowing these little movements to ripple throughout your whole body until you're able to take a really juicy stretch in whatever way feels authentic, whatever way feels real and good for you. And in your own time, we're going to make our way towards a seat. You could come via rolling onto one side, a moment with your head in your arms. Or maybe you just want to go straight up. It's up to you. But keeping your head in a quiet space, and your heart in a grateful one. We're going to land in a comfortable seat, however feels right. And maybe you could bring your hands to rest on your body. Maybe it's bringing your hands to prayer, whatever feels best. Just taking a few really grateful breaths into your heart space. Gratitude to yourself for showing up today. Gratitude to your body for housing you, containing you. Gratitude to this room, this space, this studio for containing all of our practices. Gratitude to the practice itself and to all the other practitioners that have shared their energy with us. We're going to take a really big inhale, reach up towards the sky, grow long in your spine, look up at your fingers, sit down in your sitting bones. Exhale, take a real deep bow. And you can maybe offer up your practice to a loved one or to your community so we can give up and share the benefits of what we do here. It can ripple out way, way, way beyond the studio. Yeah, thank you all so much for showing up, for sharing your time and your practice with me. It's a real honor and a privilege to get to do this. Yeah, any questions or feedback? I'd love to hear it. I also know Laura likes to hear it too. Yeah, thank you so much. Take care. Thank you.